In Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition, the Treant is often described as a bipedal giant tree folk, with branches for arms and faces hewn into their trunks. They were voracious defenders of nature and were typically seen in the company of druids and elves, though their existence in the Forgotten Realms predates that of elves, illithids, and other sentient species. The Treant has an AC of 16 and 138 hit points, with a standard walking speed of 30. They have a +6 to strength, a -1 to dex, a +5 to con, a +1 to intellect, a +3 to wisdom, and a +3 to charisma, stats that make saving throws against magic much easier. They're vulnerable to fire, but resistant to all bludgeoning and piercing damage regardless of magical attributes. They're also able to speak Common, Druidic, Elvish, and Sylvan. They have the trait False Appearance, in which when remaining motionless they are completely indistinguishable from a normal tree, and they also possess the Siege Monster trait, doubling their damage against objects and structures. In combat, they can make 2 slam attacks or a single rock attack. Both have a +10 to hit, but the slam only has a range of 5 feet, whereas the rock is a thrown weapon. The slam deals 3d6 + 6 bludgeoning, a damage potential of 9 to 24, and the rock deals 4d10 + 6, a potential of 10 to 46. When using 2 slam attacks, however, the overall potential increases to 18 to 48. They also have the ability Animate Trees, in which once per day they can animate 1 to 2 trees they see within 60 feet. These trees gain the same stats as the Treant, with the exception of a 1 in intellect and charisma, and they can only use the slam attack on their turns. They become the Treant's ally, and remain animated for 1 day or until they die, the Treant dies, they go out of a 120-foot range, or the Treant turns them back into a normal tree as a bonus action. As a DM, I would have a Treant protecting a grove or other sacred place in nature, hiding among the trees until provoked. Due to the inability to see the Treant, players without a feat preventing surprise will miss their first turn in combat. Once active, I would have the Treant initiate combat by activating Animate Trees, sending 2 of them after the closest targets, preferably ranged casters. The rest of the strategy is simple due to the limited options of the Treant. I would have it get into melee range and use 2 slam attacks as much as possible, as 2 slams have a slightly higher damage potential than the rock throw, and with 2 strikes they're twice as likely to hit. I would only use the rock throw if the Treant needs to target someone who is out of melee range, such as to take down a fire-slinging mage. There's no direct mythological counterpart for the Treant, but the themes of trees or other druidic plants as guardians is common in most ancient belief systems. We know, however, that the Treant gains its name and appearance from Tolkien's Ents, with the name literally being a combination of tree and Ent. In Tolkien's Lord of the Rings, the Ents are giant tree folk led by Treebeard, a creature said to have been the oldest in Middle-earth. Tolkien likely got the idea from countless druidic and monastic traditions, and created the name Ent from the Old English word Eoten, literally translated to giant, or possibly from the French word géant, meaning the same. In comparing the monster to the quote-unquote myth from Tolkien, we find that they're basically identical, which is not surprising considering the history of the creature. While the Ent was created by taking inspiration from ancient druidic legends, the word Ent was actually a trademarked word referring to the Tolkien creature. The original Treant in D&D was actually just blatantly called an Ent, but after receiving a cease and desist letter from the Tolkien estate, the creators of D&D decided that it would be best to alter their tree creature name, and how better than to slap on the word tree at the beginning. If you enjoyed that video, please leave a like and comment below, and consider subscribing to the channel. You can also join the Patreon for $1 a month, link in the description below, to access videos days before they're posted here, as well as other exclusive stuff like short stories, videos, and more. For all of my other content, you can find me on Twitch at Moglaroo, YouTube and TikTok at Moglaroo Streams, or my website, mwjgilmore.com.